Collin, it's great to have you here at HIMSS. It's a pleasure. You're a celebrity amongst the users of Twitter, and I want you to talk to me about healthcare leader chat. It happens. You're the hero of it. Explain.
Yeah. So Healthcare Leader is a tweet chat. It's a community now. It happens every Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern. It's been happening for the last 4.5 years. So what we do is we get together with people who are leaders in healthcare in spirit, not necessarily title. So we have patients, we have physicians, we have people who work in hospitals and work in the health IT community. And we gather to talk about a variety of topics, all related to healthcare, how it's provided, how we can improve it. And it's a really great 1 hour every week to get together to really kind of come up with some new ideas and some new thinking around healthcare.
So how long have you been doing it now?
Gosh, we started probably back in 2012 is when we had our first chat. It was half an hour back then, and we quickly realized that half an hour is too short, and we expanded it to an hour. We've been going pretty strong since then. We usually average around 125, sometimes that was 200 participants. And we generate a lot of, like I said, a lot of tweets and a lot of ideas for that 1 hour that we're together.
What's one of the things you hope comes out of this? I mean, you do it, it's religious. What do you want out of this thing?
You know, HCLDR is a labor of love. It takes a lot of preparation. There's a lot of post-work that happens. Between Joe and I, we have a lot of work to do to get guests and things. But you know what we really hope to get out of it is we hope to motivate people. We hope to motivate people to make change or to research something more deeply, to become more aware of a particular issue. So our goal really is maybe not so much transform healthcare, but to transform the individuals who are in healthcare, to help them kind of realize there's other resources, other people out there doing something similar. So we're hoping to, the connections, we're hoping to sort of raise awareness, and we're hoping to change people's sort of viewpoints in health.
So even if you make me like this much better,
Exactly.
you fulfilled it.
Exactly, that's what we do. And I learned so much in that hour, especially because of the international flavor of Healthcare Leader. So I always walk away feeling, wow, I've just learned so much.
That's awesome, man. Keep it up. That is a great chat.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so let's switch gears now. So let's talk about communication between physicians, patients. It's kind of where you specialize in your day job.
That's right. I actually do have a day job.
So what does that look like, and how are you seeing that evolve and those conversations happening?
Sure. I think before, sort of back many years ago, patient and provider communications was pretty much restricted to the exam room, right? You met with your doctor one-on-one, you had the conversation, and then you left. I think today, with the advent of the smartphone, always-on connectivity, all those things, I think people now have a much higher expectation of communication with their healthcare providers. And that means things like email, text, even online communications through social channels. All those things, people want to be able to access their healthcare providers 24/7, anytime, through those mediums. And so we're seeing that kind of movement. And unfortunately, the consumers or the patients have gotten there first, and the healthcare industry is sort of catching up. It's still kind of rare to have doctors who are willing to communicate with you these social channels, but we're hoping to slowly change that, kind of move people into these new mediums.
Yeah, do you see any ways that are working better than others to not really speed it up, but help encourage the movement to adoption?
I think, the biggest change I've seen in the last little while is really around telemedicine. See, with telemedicine, I think doctors are finally realizing, wow, there's some power here of being virtual. Whereas before, I think they were kind of like, not really sure this is going to work out. But now the fact that they're being paid for teleconsults and those kinds of things is also kind of changing people's minds to say, hey, maybe these forms of communication can A, be actually lucrative, and B, people truly want it. Yeah. And so I think they're kind of waking up to these other modes of communication.
Yeah, those value statements are coming just a little slow.
Yeah, it is a little slow, and there is security concerns. Not to they are legitimate. So, but I think again, like with organizations that are here at HIMSS, we're slowly addressing those as well. So I think the barriers are coming down, and I, for one, am very, very happy that they are.
I agree with you, man. All right, so let's talk about HIMSS. You're a veteran here. You're a veteran of events in general. What are you seeing here this year that might be different than 16 and might be leading us into 18? What's your sense of, what's 27 drop us, and where are we going from here?
Well, one thing, I mean, this is my 11th HIMSS, so I've been to quite a few number of them. I can't believe it's been 11. One of the things I'm noticing this year is the more practical application of big data and the more practical application of AI. I think last year when I was touring the hall, I saw it sort of mentioned on banners and things,
Right.
but no practical application, a lot of theory. And so I think this year now we're starting to see it, whether it's decision support tools, whether it's some of these analytic engines that are doing the pop health thing, or whether it's IBM Watson and tools like that. We're starting to see more practical applications of that kind of technology, and I think that's pretty exciting. So that's the biggest difference. Also, kind of on the reverse side, have not seen a single word about patient portals. And just, I haven't seen those around. I think those are just, people are not focused on those, or just, they're now part of the furniture. So.
That's great. It's going to be interesting to see what we see in 2020 as we were talking now about some of those things with AI, and it's just going to be part of the workflow.
It's just, it's, a few of my friends, John Lynn, of course, we were having a discussion around, at what point are we going to reach where not using AI actually is a med error? Like if you actually do not use computer-assisted decision support, it's actually a bad thing. Right now it's sort of more, it's a techie thing, it's to enhance the process. But we wonder when it'll be where if you don't use it, it's actually an error.
Wow. Yeah, the scary thing is probably not that far away.
You're absolutely right. It's probably not that far away.
Excellent, man. Well, it was a pleasure to chat with you. It's always good to see you. It's a shame it's only at HIMSS for the most part, but we'll find you on Twitter. We'll hit you up on the Healthcare Leaders Chat and be a part of the conversation.
Yeah, anytime. And always, having two Collins on stage is always a good thing.
I know, Collins are taking over. Thanks, man.
Take it easy.